Good evening. Hope everyone is well. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone is safe, happy, watered, and fed. This is the TCF 11 podcast show. Let's get things started with myself, the best grassroots centre back in the universe, and then we have what is it? Gold Rush Gary. What was the saying
Ga-
that
Listen, Gary the legend is perfect.
Gary the legend? Gary the legend. Okay, cool. We will we will kind of keep it to Gary the legend. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm
Good
fine.
stuff. Good stuff. So, if like people do not know what we'll be talking about today, we'll be talking about first of all, of course, the Hollanton Catford game, which I played, and then Gary was there, and then yeah, listen, I mean, yeah, well, I mean, let me not say no more, and then we'll be talking about five of I wouldn't say like the most unfashionable or unpopular black players, but five people within the footballing industry that a few people may not put at the forefront. And we have a special guest, Conway, who's a founder of the Black History Cup and also the Vets World Cup as well, who'll be coming on. We are waiting for Chris, but again, big shout to Chris. He's got like a lot of commitments. We are going to rattle through this. But first and foremost, let's go and talk about the results from yesterday's games. Let's go through the results in the Premier League. Home win for Herne Bay, Wallenham Vets. I believe that they are folded now. Gary, do you know any more
Yeah,
information about them?
yeah. They have folded. It's sad, really, because, like I said, look. Let's be honest, to Breeze. The loss of that goalkeeper, it's affecting them. And if they don't want to play no more, then that's the right thing to do, to fold, because you wouldn't like to keep playing teams, and then fold, and then everybody loses their points again, and it's sort of like we'll take one team that was being top for a long while and put them down to second or third because of this. So, I wish them all the best. Let's just leave it like that. I don't want to talk too much about it. I spoke on that subject already. So I wish them all the best.
Yeah.
And I hope they find the right solution to maybe come back next season and try again.
Yeah, very, 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 very true. Hollington 6, Catford 0. Leone Stars 2, Independent 3. Sporting Santos 1, Masters 3. And this is how the table is looking right now. Hollington, Independent, Catford, Masters, Bow Street, Kawuya, Leone Stars, Wallenham, and Sporting Santos. And the games for next week, Catford at home to Masters and Independent at home to Santos. We have Chris. Welcome, Chris, to the show. So let's kind of do a quick review regarding the game yesterday. Hollington 6, Catford 0. I played the whole 90 minutes, and let me just say, Hollington truly deserved the victory. A lot of people may say it wasn't a 6-0 drubbing, but if you score 6 goals, you've scored 6 goals. If you don't score, like you don't win games. They just moved the ball in a way with directness. Positioning was on point. Big shout out to their captain Andre and Brett. That would they were just an absolute menace. Also shout out to Nelson that had to go centre back because I believe one of their I think their first choice centre back came off injured. Hopefully he's okay. I think it was an ankle injury. I'm not too sure. But Nelson went to like centre back, absolutely immense. Craig, absolutely immense. Dean Lodge on the right side, honestly, like his movement, he's listen. You know what? Again, there's literally no one that I can say that literally had a bad game for Hollington. Ainsley, again, crafty, creative, the smudge as well. Wheeler had a couple of chances. Oh, Wheeler had a few chances at 1-0 down and even at 2-0 down, which possibly could have changed the game. But their keeper made some some like blinding saves. And yeah, you know, there's literally no excuses from like me and like the players that I've spoken to. No matter what team that you feel, you know, that you field, whoever's in front of you, you have to try and beat. And yeah, Hollington, I mean, you know what? It could have been more. You know, like it could have ended out 8-4 or 5 or 8-5. You know, it was literally that like type of game. Big shout out to Gary, who was there, who literally was chanting for a good 20-30 minutes, and which I find hilarious. But you know what? I love it. I can, you know, absolutely love it. It's, you know, like it's part and parcel of the game, you know, you know, it's for me, you know, it's a term of endearment, and you know, literally everything done in love and jest. So, you know, Gary, fair play to you, fair play.
I rattled you.
No,
because you've missed out an important part here. You told the viewers that you played the whole 90 minutes. Now, if you remember rightly, I rattled you at one point that you had to come off the pitch.
No.
Oh, no, let me finish.
Okay,
no, hold on. You came off the pitch and then went back on. So that doesn't mean that you've played the whole 90 minutes. That's my first point. Can I just finish? Because like I said, we're going to crack on soon because we can't just stay here all night. Also, Chris, you know, they didn't have him running around in a circle, you know. They had him running around in triangles. Yeah? You mentioned Dean Lodge, and like, I'm just being honest. You call me a football analyst, so let me analyze what I saw. Lodge had you running around in circles, brother. Let's be honest. That's why you're mentioning him. You have to mention him. He had you running around in circles. Well, not circles. Look, I made that look because I can't do the Sky TV and all the this, that. So I made my own little piece of paper. I don't know if you can see it, but that was to Breach yesterday. They had him running around in circles. Yeah, can you see it? You want start to see trophies, but I'm showing you what happened yesterday. They had you running around in triangles. You went left, they went right. Let's be honest now, to listen, my good friend Brett, I did say to you, don't go in. You went on your Forrest Gump run. You left so much space behind. What happened? They scored. Yeah. Then you hold on. You went to go on a second Forrest. You went on your second Forrest Gump run, and your winger. You wanted your winger to put the ball down the wing to you. But your winger had the right sense not to, because he knew the ball would come straight back and there would be another goal conceded. 4 goals. They pressured you. You got pressured, bro. You got properly pressured. You got exposed. You had a big chest when you when you beat Santos. But I told you then, wait till you play Hollington. Wait till you play a proper team. Yeah? You played a proper team yesterday. And you felt the so-called best centre-half felt what it's like to go up against 2 of the strongest centre-forwards in the league. You felt it, and you didn't like it. Chris even walked past me and didn't even want to say hello or bye. That's how much in a temper he was with himself, because he got exposed. Listen, basic thing now. You never lose your composure in a game. There was about 20 people and a man walking his dog, and you lost your composure, mate. You lost your composure, and you're supposed to be the best centre half. You can't lose your composure. One person on the sideline reeled you in. Easily reeled you in. Your own captain had to have a word with you to breathe. Look, I've noticed with you, every time you're under pressure, you rub your beard. Every time. You're under pressure, you rub your... Look at you, rubbing your nose now. You're always, when you're under pressure, that's what you do. You got exposed yesterday. And another thing, that kit was too tight for you. You made yourself look like Big Bird without his bloody mask on Sesame Street. What's the matter with you? Now let's move on, because you got rinsed yesterday. I'm just going to leave it like that because it's Black History Month. I'm going to allow you this one, but you got exposed yesterday. Yeah,
Chris, what's been said in the WhatsApp group?
Nothing much. Just take the games as they come, in it. So it's how it is. So I guess at the moment it's just the game ticked off. On to the next one. That's it, really. I think that's all people. That's all people are talking about. Just, it was a game. It was a big game. Obviously, you guys were on a good run. Obviously, we've been on a decent run. So it was just to ensure that we got the points that were needed to keep the momentum going. Momentum's big in football. So that's it, really.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, there's no excuses, at all. Could we have played a different formation, or literally match Hollington with a kind of different formation, possibly? But you win some and you kind of lose. You lose some. Hindsight is amazing. And I want to just kind of clarify in terms of the substitutions. There was a lot of and ahhing. So literally, I came off because we needed to bring on another defender that again rightly hasn't played, and then I came back on because one of our players were were injured. But again,
I rattled you. I rattled you. You're just being polite. I rattled you, mate.
I mean, no. Well,
so basic. One person to breeze. One person.
Well.
And by the way, I'd just like to also say to you, I've seen your team now, and there is no way you get them 10 goals. Just saying.
Okay. All right. No, you know what?
I've seen you play now. You don't get them. You don't get them. Just being honest.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, again, fair play to you, Gary. You was the only one that was shouting and can actually make a noise, which is literally what we need also in vets football, which is honestly,
mate. I'm a support. I'm a retired footballer. I'm a neutral individual watching a game of football. If I want to shout abuse, I made no derogatory remark. I didn't swear or anything. Chris, all I said to him, "You're only good at a podcast. Good at a podcast. You're only good at a podcast." Well, what's wrong with that? There's no. I've not. Is it a derogatory remark? Aren't you doing podcasting? So in fact, I'm trying to support you at the same time. But I gotta admit, just being honest, bro. Yeah, I just like you see how humble you are in defeat. Next time, be this humble when you win.
You know what? Listen, I am here. Literally, I will take the. The banter I will take when we win, when we lose. Again, as I said before, truly deserved. There's no ifs or buts. If you score 6, you score 6. If if you don't score, you don't score. There's nothing Catford Wanderers can say at this present moment in time. 100%. But again, we are here. But again, we are here to compete with everyone. We will not give teams points. We will not get relegated, no matter if we're injured, if we've got, down to our last 12 players. We had 13 players yesterday, but it is what it is. We took the defeat. Yes, 100%, it humbled us, 100% in the kind of changing room. But again, that, literally, that's the beauty of football. When you're winning, everything's cool. But again, when we lost, even in the changing room, we were having a joke, we were having a laugh. There was music there was drinks there. So you know what, it is what it is. But again, we are all looking forward to the game against LSU, because I really believe, I think that the title will be between Hollington, LSU, and possibly even Independent. I think
Independent's my dark horse. I'm watching them.
Yeah,
they're just quietly going about their business, which is the right thing to do. They're not getting carried away with themselves.
Yeah, 100%. Big shout out to Joe. You know what, Gary? You have a new supporter. Go to the podcast.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe loves you. Joe absolutely loves you. Big shout out.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. No, you know what? The game was played in a in a kind of good like spirit. Yeah, Hollington punished us with some amazing phases of play, and yeah, it's kind of back to the drawing board. But again, we are like Catford Wanderers. As I kind of said before,
Reece, I gotta say this for you,
not get
yeah. I'm not being funny. You see that your winger, I don't know his name, but
on
there
which
was
side?
I think he was on the left side, but he had a one-on-one with the goalkeeper and he fluffed his lines and hit it wide.
Yeah.
You understand? So if things like that go in, who knows how the game? We're talking. Take out the banter now. We're being real now. He scores these opportunities. Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
There are other times in the game where I think it's the wrong decision by either the winger or the striker. Why you've not gone on that goal? Maybe he's tried to go past the right or left back instead of trying to like pass and move. Not being funny. That's what they done with you, lodging them. Yeah. Instead of when you went to engage, they just passed it around you. That's all they done. So you
know what, Gary? Like what like makes Division 1 or the Championship now, it's called, and the Premiership different is the speed of thought. I like realized against Hollington, their like speed of thought was just, it was just uncanny. And everyone knew exactly what they needed to do. Like, there was no second guessing, and like they kind of had everyone had maybe one or two options, and nine times out of 10 they made the right option, and that right option literally took out 2-3 players of like ours. And again, it's the speed of thought, it's the decision making. That's what makes Hollington such a impressive team. And you know what, honestly, fair play. I've got there's like nothing that I can say. Clean sheet, 6-0. It's it's going to be hard to actually stop them, but again, there's independent, there's LSU Masters. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah,
cool. But again, shout out again to like everyone there. Shout out to you, Gary, for for being there. Shout out to, I think, some of the cool you guys were there. Again, shout out to Nana and the kind of Catford guys as well. We roll again on Saturday. Big shout out to again, Joe. He's kind of shouting you out, Hubs. Hope you are well. But yeah, okay, cool.
Good, thanks,
all
Joe.
right. Let's go on to the like main talking point. Yes, it is Black History Month, and again, I don't want to be too controversial. I hate this Black History Month because our Black history is more than 1 month. But you know what? That's probably for another day. But again, this is a great suggestion from Gary put in this show together. Myself, Gary, Chris, and Conway, we have all named 5 individuals that may not be some of them are actually well known in the public eye, but may not get the recognition that we feel they deserve. Actually, Gary, do you want to kind of elaborate your like suggestion to myself and Chris?
Well, what I said, I mean, it was initially 10 players, but I think that would be just a little bit too much. So I suggested 5 players that you pick, I pick, and Chris pick, and also Conrad pick. And none of us are allowed to pick Pele because I believe that any one of us would have picked him. So you don't pick Pele, and you pick 5 players of your own choice. They could be still playing, they could be retired, it could be from the 70s, it could be from any era, it could be from Victorian era for all I care. But just 5 players of your own choice. And we come together today as a collective to talk about them. Have a little brief description about each player, and then we can move on to the next player.
Great stuff. I want to welcome to the panel Conrad, founder of Black History, founder of the Black History Cup and also the Vets World Cup. How are you doing, sir? Conway, we can't hear you.
He's muted.
Conway,
That's
Hi,
it.
good evening. Sorry about that. Good evening.
No problem. Do you want to talk briefly about what you do and literally what the Black History Cup is about?
Okay, London and Vets Borders was set up about 4 or 5 years ago. And regarding the Black History Cup, me and Ben from LSU decided one day, we just felt that the FA wasn't doing a lot when it come to Black History Month. Normally we was just put in a classroom and it was time to network, when me and Ben thought that as for Black History Month, that we should actually be playing football and networking at the same time. So me and Ben, what we did is we approached the London FA to say, look, if we can get some teams, can we start doing teams for Black History Month? So we're a little bit persuaded. We started to do that. We do the games July and August, and we have finals. I mean, the first year we done it in South London, then last year Middlesex, and this year it's at St George's Park. So we've really jumped from where we have started, really. So we've got 3 teams playing in there. We got the over 35s, over 50s, and the open age. So six teams will experience playing at St George's Park. And in Birmingham, if anyone's interested, wants to attend, just let me know. And that's what we want to do. Eventually, me and Ben's idea is, like, if the other counties start doing it up and down the country to celebrate Black history.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Conway, for setting this up. So this is how it's going to go. Gary's going to start off with his 5, and then after his 5, it's going to be Chris. After Chris, it's going to be Conway, and after Conway, it is going to be myself. So, Gary, let's start with you. Could you give me your first individual?
My first individual is Peter and Love. He used to play for Coventry City, a winger from Zimbabwe. And I've picked him because on the 19th of August, 1992, he made history by being the first African footballer to play in the new English Premier League. And for me, I just say to myself, this man being the first is the one who paved the way for the likes of Kolo Toure, Yaya Toure, Michael Essien, just to name a few. So I've rightfully named him as my first pick.
Yeah, amazing. What we'll do, we will actually, Conway, is there anything that you want to add regarding Peter and Love?
No, sorry. great player. Played for Coventry. Yeah, I think he joined Peter. He joined Coventry maybe towards the end of his career, but he was a good player. He had like a little high top, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Chris?
No, Gary's said it all.
Yeah, no, amazing. Gary, who's your second player?
My second player is Brendan Batson. Most people will know him for being one of the 3 degrees when he spent his time at West Brom with Laurie Cunningham and Cyril Regis. But I've named this man because I'm an Arsenal supporter, and Brendan Batson played right back, but he was the first black player signed by Arsenal. And he signed in January 1971, and he made his debut in March 72. And so I've named Brendan Batson as my second choice.
Conway, is there anything that you want to add?
Not really, because that was just before my era, so I can't add much really.
Okay, Julio. Chris?
No.
Yeah, okay. And you know what, exactly like myself, just kind of out my era, but again, like these are absolute legends in the game. So thank you, kind of Gary, for like educating not like only myself but also like the viewers. Who's your third person?
My third person, this person, he as far as I'm concerned, there's individuals older than me that started playing football because of this man, and this man is Clyde Best. He's from Bermuda, striker, played for West Ham, signed for West Ham at the age of 18. Funny enough, he played his first game against Arsenal on the 25th of August, 1969. He played 188 league games for West Ham, scoring 47 goals between 1969 and 1976. And in January 2006, he was awarded the MBE for his service to football and the community of Bermuda.
Amazing. A question to the panelists. Is there like anyone that wants to talk about Clyde?
No.
Once again, he was before my era, but I do know quite a few West Ham fans who are a bit older than me. He's well respected in the sense that we're talking back to 1969, just like what Gary said. It's probably unfashionable to have a black player, and he wasn't just there for one season. He played nearly 200 games, so that speaks volumes.
100%. Gary, who is your penultimate player or penultimate person, should I say?
What, my third? That's my fourth one. That's my fourth one. Do you want the fourth one?
Yeah, yes, please. You're kind of, yeah.
Right. The fourth one is Thomas Ngono. This is a goalkeeper. Being a goalkeeper, I wanted to put a goalkeeper in mind. This man here, I believe, is arguably the most influential black goalkeeper in the history of football for me, because this man here, he influenced so many people, so many keepers, so many of them, and no one bigger than Gianluigi Buffon. Because of this man, Gianluigi Buffon became a goalkeeper. He plied his trade out in Spain with Espanyol, and like I said, played international level for Cameroon. But this man has to be in my list.
Okay. Question to the panel: Do like people want to elaborate on what?
From what they've said already, Tabriz, they're too young. They're too young for my maybe not Thomas and the others. But I'm just helping everybody out. That's all right. You're my brother.
Thanks, Gary. I'm glad you said I'm young. Thanks, Gary.
That's it. I'm just being respectful, brother.
No. And I appreciate you, mate. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. And who's your fifth person, Gary?
My fifth person, I'm giving it to a lady this time, and I've selected Hope Powell. That's my choice. What this woman has done is it should be recognized, because she's not only what she's done, the barriers that I believe that she's had to overcome to get to where she is. I mean, she played for Millwall Lioness, and she managed Millwall Lioness, and I think she played for Croydon as well. She also played for England 66 times. She scored 35 goals, if I'm not mistaken. And this lady, she's the first female to manage any form of England team. Yeah, any form. And the fact that she's black is even better. Yeah, she was awarded the OBE, if I'm not mistaken, and then was promoted to the CBE. And this lady is the first lady to be awarded her UEFA Pro license. And it's a license, if I'm not mistaken, it's the highest license in Europe. But I rightfully have to have someone like this lady in my list, and rightfully so.
Yeah, no, I remember first probably seeing Hope when she was managing England, England Lionesses, and again, it was just amazing to see. I think she's again associated with Peckham Town as well.
No, it's a different lady.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it's a different lady. Her name's Mary Phillips or something like that.
Okay.
She used to play for Arsenal. So if it's the one you're talking about is her name's I think it's Mary Phillips. So she's the manager of Peckham Town. She used to play for Arsenal. She played for Millwall. She used to play for England. But she was one of the first. When I read her up, she was one of the first black ladies to represent the England females, I think, ladies at one point. So yeah, I know you're talking about Mary Phillips. I think her name was or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Conway, have you got anything to add? Conway, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Just like what the other panel said. I mean, she has broken barriers to be the England manager at that time. You know, when it's unfashionable. So you've got to take her props off to her. It's a lot of challenges, what she may have faced, but props up to her. I just think that because of my age and everything like that, I do know of her. I don't feel that she gets enough recognition. It's sort of like faded away in the background, her legacy, which is a shame. But we need to keep that going to what she has achieved.
Yeah,
100%.
100%. Gary, thank you so much for your 5. We are now going to go on to Chris. Chris, can you give me the first name from your 5, please?
Is that how you asked me? No, Jane. You asked me with such attitude. Anyone think I play for Holland? There's no need for that.
You know what, Wizard? It's the first time I'm seeing you in a Holland shirt, because normally you'd be like wearing like the team that you coach and whatnot.
It's true. I was coaching for Holland today, so I wanted to wear it just to remind you of what happened.
Okay, cool.
I hope that's okay. Do you want me to take it off?
No. I think it looks good. Can you get me one? If you got me one,
Gary, I'm going to get you one, and you know what, Tabriz, I'll get you one with Lodgy's name on the back. Don't worry. So my first one is obviously what's his name? Sadio Mane. So I'm going with Sadio Mane because you know, we all know what he's done in his football career. You know, he's one of the top footballers. You know, he's won the African nations with Senegal and stuff. But it's outside of football what he's done. So, you know, he's gone back to his hometown. He's put a lot of things in place. Like, he's built schools. He's built lots of different like things like hospitals and stuff like that for his hometown in if I'm correct, it's Bambali in Senegal. So he's done a lot of good things behind the scenes to help redevelop obviously where he lives. And like for me, I think sometimes we give footballers a lot of stick. You know, we give a lot of footballers stick about what they earn and stuff like that. But when we see things like this happen, they don't get enough recognition, whether it be, you know, we're talking about black footballers today because of, you know, Black History Month and stuff like that. But if we look at some other footballers in general, you know, from other different countries and stuff like that, that obviously do the exact same thing, I don't feel like they get the recognition. So I think he needs a big shout out for that, because he's not only putting the work in on the pitch, but he's also going back home and ensuring that everyone has, you know, some sort of stability. So, you know, big respect for that.
Yeah, definitely. Conway and Gary, is there anything that you want to add to what Wizard has just said?
Conrad, do you want to say go first?
Conrad?
Sorry, with Mane, when he was at Southampton, I didn't really take notice of him. Me being a Liverpool fan, he played against Liverpool, scored his hat-trick. I believe, I might be wrong here, I think he done it in a number of minutes, 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I remember that.
Yeah, well, about 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, and what he achieved, and when he moved to Liverpool and everything, it was excitable. Great player. Yeah, that guy deserved to get his flowers. I think he's like a little bit undershadowed because of Mo, but yeah, he's up there. He is Mane.
Yeah. Gary?
I think Chris echoed the main part for me, and it's what he does in his country. To use your own money to build schools, build hospitals, and you know, to help out in that sense. Come on, man. You've got my vote anyway.
Yeah.
You don't have to. There's a government who's supposed to be taking care of those sort of things, but he's looked past it and has the funds to do it. And if he wants to be like, if anything, be remembered for that, and rightfully so.
Yep. Chris, who is your second player?
So my next player will be Viv Anderson. So obviously, he used to play for Nottingham Forest.
You didn't put Viv. Sorry, Chris, you didn't put Viv Anderson on there.
I did. Oh well, I must have sent you the wrong one. I said it was him, but I gave you the wrong one. But it was
okay.
When I wrote it to you, it was wrong. But I put him down. I think when I typed it to you on the phone, I had the name in my head, but I put the wrong one down. So
cool. No problem.
Ignore that. But the reason why I chose this guy is because obviously, you know, he was used to play for Nottingham Forest. He was a right back. He used to play for Nottingham Forest, and you know, he was one of the first players to get a call up to the England's national team in roughly, I think if I'm correct, in like the 1978, and then he got called up again to play in a couple of major tournaments. So obviously, I thought he deserves a shout out for you know, putting in that hard graft and, you know, getting his chance to show his ability on the world stage. So I just thought it was like fair enough. And, you know, to be part of that Nottingham Forest team that obviously, you know, won European trophies and stuff like that, you know, he definitely needs a shout out for that.
Yeah. Gary, is there anything that you want to say regarding Viv Anderson?
No, I think Chris has echoed the main parts. Like I said, I mean, he played for Nottingham Forest, he played for Arsenal, played for Man United, and was like, the first black player to play for England.
Yeah. Conway? Conway, are you there?
Yeah, just to echo what the two other panelists have said, I mean, to win the two in the late 70s, to get England call up and to win the Champions League, the European Cup back to back at that time, speaks immense. And let's say Arsenal and Man United to play for them as well, speaks volume as well. So he's done well there, Viv Anderson.
Yeah. Chris, who's your person?
Obviously, I've gone with this guy. You know, I'm a Tottenham fan, and he's. I feel like it's sad that he's, you know, through to injuries and stuff like that. But Ledley King, I think with Ledley King's injuries, I think he could have been up there as like one of the best centre backs. You know, when people talk about him, and people have like conversations, he's always up there as one of the proper centre backs that played in the Prem. But, you know, it's a shame due to injuries and stuff like that. And, you know, it must be decent from when your manager's saying you don't have to train. Just be ready. Just be ready for match day. Like that speaks volumes. So on a pure football perspective, it's like that's why I chose him, because I just thought to myself, captain of Tottenham. If injury didn't affect him, then he would have had. I think he would have had a very long, good career.
Yeah. Gary, anything to say about Leslie?
Leslie or Ledley?
Ledley King.
We're just making up names now. Says Caprice.
Anyway, I'm an Arsenal man, but for this player here, yeah, I rated him as a defender. And like Chris said, it's just injuries that stopped him from doing more in the game. So just leave it like that, really.
Yeah. Conway?
Hi, yeah. I mean, Leslie King, any of these former players, they really speak very highly of him. If you ask someone who played with him at that time, they speak very, very highly of him playing. If it wasn't for injuries. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So if it weren't for injuries. But I do believe, though, I'm a bit controversial, that if it weren't for injuries, I think Tottenham would have ended up selling him, or he would have wanted to leave. I'm just going to say
Yeah, no, I you know what, I don't doubt that, because I feel like he's cool. I think his limelight would have got a lot bigger if he played a lot more football. And I think injuries like stopped him from progressing to, moving on at the time, to a bigger club, possibly at the time. But we're quite lucky that we was able to keep him, shame about the injuries. But yeah, he definitely had to go into my list, because for me, especially being a Tottenham fan, I think he's definitely up there, man.
Yeah, definitely. And before we continue, Conway, your audio is really crackly. What's going on, sir? Hello, Conway. What's going on?
Yes, sorry, I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, well, you know what? I mean, it's cool, But like, can yourself, Chris, and Gary hear him clearly enough?
Yeah, I can hear him. Obviously, there's a little bit of crackling, but you can still hear him.
Cool, no problem. Who's your penultimate player, Chris? Who's your fourth?
Penultimate? What, am I only allowed to give 3?
No, 4.
Is it 5 or 4? What is it?
No, 4. Sorry, 5. 5. But literally, this is your 4.
This 6-0 has really messed up your brain, bro. You all right? You need a breather. Should we have a timeout? Should we finish the show for a minute?
Who's your 4th player?
Okay. So my 4th player is Cyril Regis. So, he's an FBE. He had a career playing with West Brom, Coventry, Aston Villa, Wolves, Wickham. He started his career at Chester. He is he's someone that is, pioneered and, really pushed forward to stop racism within football. And for me, that's really big, even though it's a battle that we're always going to be battling no matter what. There's always going to be idiots out there that can't control themselves and want to do stupid things. But for me, for someone that, in the world that we live in such a big platform, the football world, putting himself out there to really push racism and to stop it, he had to go in my list. Like, for me, that speaks volumes, and I think someone like him needs a big shout out, and people need to understand what a job he's trying to do, or was trying to do at the time, to stop all this. So yeah, no, he needs to be shouted out from me.
Yeah. Gary, anything to add?
Yes, man, that is one of my idols, because to breeze, I'm not a goalkeeper. You only see me as a goalkeeper. Everyone knows me. Will know that I'm not a goalkeeper. Yeah, he's one of my idols. I grew up idolising a man like that. He's just one of a few. I mean, as a kid growing, like I said, you're too young for Clyde Bess. There are people like that. As a kid growing, I'm looking at Clyde Bess and another player called John Chadozie, who used to play for a team called Orient. They were called Orient at the time, but they're now called Leighton Orient. There's people like that. Vince Hilaire, they were the players that I used to look at, but that's a great shout. Great shout, Chris. Great shout.
Conway, anything to add?
I know a few people who know Cyril because he's from northwest London.
Yeah.
And everyone speaks, even people who went to school with him, played with him at youth level, they speak very highly of him, very humble guy. And he went through a lot of challenges. And it's like football's, at that time, he was playing for an unfashionable team. And later on in his career, and for the grace of God, he won the FA Cup, which was nice as well, you know. So, yeah, props to him. Everyone in Brent really looks up to Cyril Regis. He was like a big benchmark to other people, inspiring what he was doing. And people looked up to him as well. They always regard him very highly up there. You know, it's a shame he never got enough more England caps, but yeah, really nice guy from what I hear.
Chris, your final player.
So my final player is just, this is just my favorite, my idol. You know, Brazilian Ronaldo is my final guy. Like, the guy was, you know, he's not called the phenomenon for no reason. So he was one of the reasons why I started playing football, or really got into football. Like, watching him, the things he can do. You know, I read his autobiography and I remember reading it and just reading about the records and the things he did at such a young age. You know, it's not every day that someone can play for Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and AC Milan and not be hated. You know what I mean? He's played for all four of them big clubs that are all rivals, you know, and not be hated by anyone. So for me, that speaks volumes. And it's, again, to go to get a big injury that he had on his knee and then come back and still do what he did in the World Cup is ridiculous. So for me, it was a no-brainer for me when we spoke about it, us three, and we spoke about the players that we want to put in it. And when we mentioned that it was going to be like a Black History Month theme, it was already penned in on my list because, like I said, one of the biggest reasons why I looked at playing football and kind of why I took football very, very serious in the way that I have, due to the fact of like what he created, what he's done in his career. You know, I would never emulate to what he could do, but he always made me feel like I could do anything. So yeah, he was one of the reasons why. So he had to go on my list.
Gary, anything to add?
And Chris has picked out another one of my idols. Hey, listen, I see him play for Real Madrid at Old Trafford, score a hat trick, and I see even the Man United supporters get up and rightfully clap him. Yeah, that is just to show you how good this player was. And for me, he's the real Ronaldo. Let's get it straight. Forget this R7 and foolishness like that. There's only one Ronaldo. In my head, anyway.
Very, very true. Conway?
Just like with the other two pens, that he was just something else. I mean, the amount of clubs he played for, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, he was something else. I mean, the guy is the guy. Unbelievable player. I don't hear anyone like. Probably it's a generation thing, but if you're brought up in that generation, if you said of one player you want in your team, it is him. So, yeah, very good.
100%.
Very good player.
Definitely, on 100%. Thank you, Chris, for your 5. Conway, we will go to your 5.
Okay, my first one is Robbie Earl. I thought that when he was playing at Aston Villa, he was a true leader. I didn't think he got enough recognition what he done. I was very proud that he decided to play for Jamaica as well. And after football, he's a great ambassador.
Cool. Gary, Chris, anything to add?
Conrad's echoed what I would have said. So I know now that Conrad's people and my people are from Jamaica. So that's what I want to echo, that he played for Jamaica.
And Chris?
No, I agree. I think he doesn't get as much recognition as he should. And it's quite interesting to see when he talks about on the punditry, sometimes you might catch him talking, and it's quite interesting because he's got quite good knowledge, where sometimes you listen to some pundits and you're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? So it's quite refreshing to see that someone who's played still has good knowledge of football, and, you know, it's a good choice.
Conway, who's your second person?
My second one is Mark Waters. He used to play for Aston Villa, Rangers, Liverpool. Fantastic winger. I think he should have got more England caps. I think that he was really a good player. And to go to Scotland, Rangers, when it was unfashionable for a black player to go to there, I think, and what he's achieved. Mark Waters is a player for me growing up to look up to as well, you know.
Gary, anything to add?
No, I think what Conrad has said is there. So I'd just like to leave it like that, really.
Yeah. Chris?
No, I think, like Conrad said, I think to go to Rangers at the time he did, it's quite refreshing to see that he's able to go there and still perform in such a time. So no, it's again very good choice.
Conrad, who's your third player?
Parker obviously went to the World Cup 1990. He's only 5'7", and when I was growing up, it was always fashionable to have a 6 foot centre forward. And Paul Parker's 5'7", and I think that he just done. When people talk about Man United, they always say Gary Neville, but Gary Neville couldn't lace Paul Parker's boots to me in that position. Paul Parker was immense. He doesn't get enough recognition what he done at Man United or for England. He's just an unsung hero.
Yeah. Chris, let me start with you first.
No, good choice, man. Very, very good choice, you know. Speaks volumes playing for such a big club for Man United. So yeah, no, very good choice. Conway.
Gary?
Yeah, decent player. Played against him just after the World Cup. Decent player.
Okay. Conway, we will go on to your fourth player.
He used to play for Crystal Palace and Wimbledon.
Who's that? Sorry.
I think
who's
Eric
that? Sorry.
Young.
Eric Young. Sorry. Yeah.
Eric Young. I've just enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing him play. For whatever reason, I think that he should have really played for one of the top 3 or 4 teams as a centre back. Good player. He was a stopper, and I don't think he gets enough recognition. I believe, like now, he's just like no one can get hold of him. None of his former teammates or anything. He's just gone from the planet Earth. He's just maybe he just wants his privacy, but I just don't think that guy gets enough flowers.
Very true. Very true. Gary?
Yeah, what Conrad said, he's right. He doesn't. And it's a shame. It would have been nice to see him at a bigger club. but the opportunity just wasn't right or there for him. But, yeah, decent centre half. Better than you, put it that way.
Chris?
Wow, Gary went there.
I had to.
No, it's a good choice. It's a good choice for me. I don't really have much to add.
Cool. And Conway, we will end with your fifth one.
My fifth one is Paul Ince. Paul Ince, I mean, he was obviously left West Ham under circumstances. He explained it. I don't know if people do know that when he was transferred to go to Man United, he was going on holiday the next day, and his agent at the time told him, look, take some photographs in the Man United top, and which he did. And Paul Ince went on holiday, and then it was released that he was in the Man United. He hasn't really signed for Man United yet, and then there's a lot of hate of West Ham fans to him for doing that. But he signed for Man United. I believe he's the first black player to be captain. I think 1998 when England was playing the playoffs of Italy, the 0-0. Remember that picture with his head bandage? I believe he was captain.
No, it was United States of America. They played.
I think it was Italy. You know.
I know that Paul Ince was. I'm pretty sure that Paul Ince made his first captaincy for England against United States of America. I'm pretty sure of it. I might be wrong, but I think so.
No, but like this picture, he was captain when they played Italy, and I think it was just either 1-1 or 0-0. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So I think to myself, he was an immense player. He was at his time. He was. I think even with Man United, when it was signed for him to go to Inter Milan, Alex Ferguson apparently allegedly said to him, look, I don't want you to go, but Paul Ince, being strong-minded, have already made up his mind. Him to go to Inter Milan at that time as well, we know in Italian football in the 90s was a serious thing, and Inter Milan took him and he came back to Liverpool. But I think that Paul Ince is often forgotten against Man United. When you talk about Man United midfield, it's always Paul Scholes and Roy Keane who gets mentioned. Well, obviously Beckham. Some people forget that Paul Ince was even there actually, and Paul Ince was there just at I think 89 or something like that. So he was there for 5 or 6, 7 years. He was there before he made his move. But definitely a great player, Paul Ince.
Definitely. Gary, anything to add?
The governor. That's what he was. They used to call him the governor. I liked him. I liked his energy. He didn't a no nonsense midfielder. Yeah, put his foot in where it needed to be put in. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like this fella. I don't think Man United liked him much when he scored against them. When he scored for Liverpool against them, I don't think they liked him. When he kicked the advertising, I don't think they liked that much. But I used to like his energy. Decent player.
Chris.
No, good player, man. Good choice. I thought he is. Obviously, I watched I think it's the Fergie documentary. Just seeing clips of him and stuff like that. And being able to watch him playing was a pleasure, man. He was a good player. Good to watch.
Cool. Thank you, Conway, for your 5. Again, thank you to everyone that's been part of the show. I'm going to rattle through mine because I'm conscious of the time. All right, let me start with my first one. So my first player is Des Walker. Des Walker, absolute legend. So not a lot of people know that I was actually born in Nottingham, actually. So from Nottingham to Leeds to London. But I remember the chant, "You will never beat Des Walker." That was literally synonymous throughout Nottingham, throughout the Midlands. He had everything. Absolutely, everything. And again, I think it was Gary or Conway said, no, I think it was Conway when he was talking about Paul Ince. Des Walker went to Sampdoria, the Italian league, where again it was in that era where Italians were renowned for defending, and again like the kind of racism and literally everything else that like we all know now was rife. So for him to actually be part of that Sampdoria team, that Forest team, of course, he kind of played for Sheffield Wednesday as well. Yeah, an absolute legend. Anyone that wants to add to what I've said?
Good player, man.
I don't mean to be rude, but I have to go. There's a number. I have to take care of some things.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
no problem.
Conrad,
okay, take care. Take care,
Conrad,
Gary.
it was a pleasure meeting you. I hope to see you again. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem, Gary.
Cool.
Chris, Tabrice, have a nice
Gary,
evening. Viewers,
take care, man. Much love.
yeah,
Players,
man.
Gary. Take care, mate.
Gary.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Thank you. Big shout out to like Gary. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Gary, man. Legend.
For his input. Conway.
Paul,
Anything?
Yeah.
like
There's Walker quality. I totally forgot about him. I totally forgot about him. And Paul Elliott, you just rattled my brain. So yeah, quality player. Allegedly, he was at Tottenham on schoolboy terms, and he left Tottenham. I think the late Tottenham old manager Bill Nicholson was at Tottenham, and he asked Des Walker that he must cut his hair. Des Walker refused. There was a bit of an argument, and Des Walker left. He was at Tottenham as a schoolboy. I don't know if you guys know that.
No, I didn't know that. Good info. Good info.
Yeah, absolute legend. My second player is a Nigerian legend, Daniel Amokachi. Daniel Amokachi. What can I say about this fellow? So I remember watching the 1994 World Cup. It's the first time that I actually sat down with my whole family, mom, dad, uncles, cousins, aunties, and that's when Nigeria, literally introduced themselves. I'd say to the world scene properly. I remember we scored that amazing goal Sunday Elise against Spain, and Daniel Amokachi scored a few goals against Greece. Hell of a left foot. Went to Everton, and again, he was again one of the prominent Nigerian players to actually grace the Premier League, and he kind of did it with a smile. He kind of did it in style, and again, you don't play for Everton as they're number 9 if you're not good enough. So big shout out to Daniel Amokachi. Chris, anything to add?
No. Obviously, like you said, to be part of that Nigerian team that was able to perform in the World Cup and then making a move to Everton speaks volumes. So, no, good choice, mate.
Conway?
Yeah, I mean, I liked his swagger. Always played with a smile on his face. Did he win the Olympics with Nigeria?
I don't think he was in that team. So literally there was Bebenyaro, Kanu, Elise was there, Akocha was there. I'm not too sure if Daniel Amokachi was in that squad. I don't think he was. Amanike, I wonder if he was in the squad. I think he was probably a little bit too old. I'm not too sure actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely immense. My next player is, and again, literally, when I was thinking of players, I was like, okay, well, literally, I want to try and get a mix, and literally why this particular person means quite a lot to me, and I was thinking of Darren Moore.
Yeah,
Darren Moore, very underrated. Of course, everyone kind of knows him as club captain at West Brom. For me, had a really, really good career. But what for me makes him stand out is his at the teams that he managed, and there's not a lot of prominent black managers in the professional league. And right now he's managing Port Vale. Of course, he managed Sheffield Wednesday, and they had a crazy playoff tie. Was it a couple of seasons ago where they were 4-0 down
Yeah.
and they literally won that tie. And I know that there was like a lot of things going on behind the scenes, even at West Brom. That's the reason why he actually left. But again, it's kind of not even just about his kind of playing prowess. It's his, it's his managerial career. And I just want to shout Darren Moore out. Chris, do you want to add anything?
No, listen. I think that's a very good choice. I think his managerial career speaks volumes already. It's sad that he doesn't get much recognition and the opportunity to manage at let's say a bigger club. But also, I just want to add, I think it's quite sad that most black managers get overlooked because there's so many talented managers, stroke coaches out there that can do a very good job, but they get overlooked. And I think that he's a prime example of someone that has great capability to manage at a very good level. He's got great knowledge. He makes his teams play in a very good way. I remember watching that game, the one you're talking about, when they were 4-0 down, and the football that they played to actually get back into the game and the passion and everything like that. It spoke volumes, because even after, when they interviewed after about the game, like the way the players spoke so highly of him as a manager, and like the influence that he has. So I think that's a brilliant shout, and shout out to a lot of the other black managers that don't get an opportunity to do their thing and manage or coach at a very good level.
Conway, anything to add?
No, I just echo what Chris said. No, there's a lot of managers who are not getting their chance, but just keep on at it. Keep on at it. Don't let your dreams die. Just keep on at it.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, man. No, sad.
Yeah. And my next player, and I've not even added him to my as in on the screen. Let me quickly find him. I'm sure I saw him a minute ago. There you go. Okay. My next player, it's another centre back, and he was, I'd say, forefront of the title is Wes Morgan. Wes Morgan, he was kind of almost stereotyped as that centre back donkey that would just head and kick, and he took relegation threatened Leicester to possibly like the biggest achievement that we'll probably see in our generation, winning the Premier League. But again, how players speak highly of him, how Claudio Ranieri speaks of him. He was like just a passionate man that was kind of very calm under pressure. And when the other people were kind of getting carried away, he like was the one that actually told the players, look, you know what, let's play for the people inside the club, and also like the fans that believed in us when actually we were in at Filbert Street in like the lower divisions. We are playing for those fans. And again, lifting that Premier League, I mean, I can't even imagine how like that must have felt for him. But big shout out to Wes Morgan. Conrad,
I mean, like he was immense. I believe that when he won the Premiership, I think, say if he was 3 or 4 years difference younger, I would think that one of the top 5 teams maybe took a gamble and signed him. He's immense. I mean, like, I remember the drink Captain Morgan, they'd done a special edition, and for a drinks company to change their label on it and naming it honorary of him is unbelievable, because you'd never hear like Coca-Cola changing their brand for anything else, and then you got Wes Captain Morgan. I mean, his playing ability, he was great. He was good.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, no, I think you just said it. He epitomises Leicester. Like, he's Leicester through and through, man. To take them to do something that obviously will be remembered, spoke about for years to come. You know, it speaks a lot. And, you know, as I think, like you just said, he was known for a defender that kicks and heads. Listen, that got in the Premier League title. So whether people criticise the way he plays, what he does, he's a Premier League winner. Do you know what I mean? So like it's very good to see. It's refreshing to see like a team like Leicester do that, and then him being the man, him being the captain at that time. So yeah, no, it's good choice.
And my final pick is Darren Bent. Darren Bent for Villa, for Spurs, for Ipswich, for Derby County. I remember Darren more so probably at Tottenham, not really at Ipswich or even Charlton. But I remember at Tottenham, again, very, very lucky not to get more caps. Again, probably Chris could like probably speak more like about his playing career at like Spurs. But again, if like he was in behind, you wasn't going to catch him. A goal scorer, a poacher, and also as well, he was a man of morals and beliefs. Like I know they had a few issues with some like managers, but you know, he refused to conform to what other people thought he should be. And literally that was kind of something that, you know, when I kind of read about his story, that's something that resonated with me. And like also as well, again, he has kind of made that seamless transition from being a footballer to like now part of the media. And, you know, someone like myself that, you know, that kind of does this, you know, how he kind of navigates and literally how like he's well respected, not only at Sky, he's on Talk Sport daily as well. You know, like he's funny, he's charismatic, he knows his football as well. And, you know, he's kind of giving people like myself that little bit of insight in terms of what kind of goes on in a kind of professional environment. So, yeah, Darren Bent, I salute you. Let's start with Conway first. Anything to add?
Yeah, Darren Bent, I remember him when he was at Ipswich and Charlton and obviously Tottenham. I felt the only thing I felt like what Harry Redknapp's comments as a manager to say that against your own player, I just think it left I just felt it's a nasty mark to say that against him. But his playing ability, he should have got more caps. Like I said, that Harry Redknapp comment. But I'm glad that he's gone into the media and the way he's taken that to another level. And he's well respected in the social media commentary. So, yeah, well done, Darren Bent.
Chris?
Yeah, you know, remember him at Tottenham. Like, remembering him and players like Jermaine Defoe, man. Like, they both knew where the goal was. Like, they were both good footballers. Like, not only were they goal scorers, but they added a lot of other stuff to their game, which made it a joy to watch. No, I really liked him as a player. Watching him play for Tottenham was a pleasure. I think seeing him now on like Sky Sports and stuff like that, you can see that he has very good football knowledge. You know, he analyzes stuff very well. His information that he gives is very good as well. So it's very pleasing to see that someone like him, and I think doing that, and I think as well, like you both said, it's a shame that he never got many more caps for the national team. You know, like I think he deserved his flowers to at least play a lot more games to show the ability that he has. And I think we could have seen a few goals scored by him, especially on international level. So yeah, no, again, good choice, man.
Yeah. Okay, that is all of our 5 players. Conway, thank you so much for like being part of the show. Chris as well. Shout out to you. And yeah, I'm. You know what? That like shirt that you're wearing is kind of looking like a little bit dusty now. I think it needs to be in the wash now, Chris.
You're turning your eyes. I should have put 6 on there, but it's cool.
That's fair enough.
Conway, pleasure to chat to you, mate.
No, no problem, Chris.
Lovely to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Problem.
And actually, Conway, before you go, how can people get hold of you if they want to be part of the Black History Cup or even the Vex World Cup?
They could just get through to me on the Instagram, London Vets Ballers. Just message me through there. I'll pick it up. I would like Hollington to join next year. I did last season. I did have someone saying they would, but it'd be nice if Hollington can represent South London. So, Chris, what we do it North London, West London, Kent, and South London. So you play like Champions League. You play one another once. If you top the group, you go into the semi-finals and the final. So the reason why I've done that, Chris, is to stop the travelling. So if we kept 4 teams in South London, it cuts the travelling out instead of you coming over. And but would like Hollington. Hollington's a team of the moment, I believe. So next year,
we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Next year, hopefully, you could join. Chris, what position do you play?
Myself, I either play. Why you ask Teresa about what I play? No, joking. I play either out wide or in the midfield. So
Okay,
I'm either.
Go on.
Well, no, either like, I'm more of like I try to be more of a creative sort of player. To be fair.
Okay, did you play yesterday?
No, I didn't play. So it's quite tough for me at the moment because I currently coach at a semi-professional men's team on a Saturday. So I'm the coach there. So basically, sometimes depending on fixtures and stuff like that, I may not be able to attend to the games. So if my men's team has a game on a Friday, then I'm available on the Saturday. So like this Saturday, I weren't able to play, which is kind of disappointing because I'd love to have taken part in the game, and just obviously me and Tabriz always on the show together, so it would have been nice to share the picture of him. Like, forget about the scores and stuff like that, no banter and stuff, but being able to share the picture of someone that you do a show with every week is like, it's a pleasure, and I think that's something that why I do these things is so we can always bring things like that together. And I think I respect and love what you do for the Black History Cup thing, man, because if I'm correct, LSU, is it the same one that LSU won?
Yes, they won.
They won
the over 35s against
Yeah.
Rams,
I was actually in that team that won it, but I wasn't able to play. I was away on holiday, the actual final. So I played a few games for LSU leading up to the final, actually. But then I was on holiday when they actually played the final, so I was quite disappointed I weren't able to play in that either. But like I said, I respect everything you're doing, and hopefully that it continues to grow, man, and it becomes a lot bigger.
Thank you very much. No, I must say that your team's in South London, very rare. I mean, I'm very shocked that you used to play for LSU in the sense that since I know Tabriz, he's played for Independent, Catford, LSU. It's like you all, after 2 or 3 years, you all change around and go to another club, which is
you know what it is? I get what you mean. You know what it is? I think you have so many teams that are in. I don't know what it's like in the other parts of London, but you've got South London's quite a big place, and you have quite a lot of teams in and around South London. So, and football being a very, very small world, everyone knows everyone. So I used to originally play. So I've only actually played for 2 teams within the Vets community at the moment, which will be Holland and LSU. I currently was at Holland originally, and then I moved on to LSU, which I was with LSU for about 3 years, and then I won the league with them. We've done really well together. Like got great memories, great friends. I respect them, and I've got love for every single one of them at LSU, and they hold a big place in my heart. But then I just thought it was the right time to move on and go back to Holland, because again, I have like a lot of friends that are at Holland, and my one of my good friends who I actually grew up with as a child from where I live around in Peckham, Morris, who's the manager. We've known each other since we were kids, so it just made sense to go back, and play there. And who knows how long I'll continue to play. If this coaching thing kicks off, I might not be playing for much longer. So I just thought it made sense to go back and play there with close friends of mine.
Yeah. No, you know what? In like South, it just feels like a, like a really strong family community feel, and yeah, like there's no hard feelings when actually players move from one club to another. But of course, you do set yourself up for like banter, like I did yesterday, which is cool. That's the name of the game. But we move on. Big shout out to Joe. Joe said Justin Buchanan would be in his 5. Very, very interesting. And before we go, I just want to put out an honor. I'd say a kind of honorably mention to Kevin Campbell, who who like passed away a few months ago. And again, what an absolute legend! What an absolute legend for Arsenal and also for Everton as well. So Kevin Campbell, who had passed away a few months ago. Conway, absolute pleasure.
Can I say one more thing?
Yep.
Chris, do you think Fabrice could get in your team?
Honestly, on current form, no. Not on current form.
No, I mean, listen, I'll be Conway, man. I can't believe it. You know what, Conway? I can't believe you. How can Conway?
He doesn't. Conway, Therese don't think I can get into my current team at the moment either.
Well, I mean,
someone paid me £5 in my PayPal account to auction.
Conrad, don't worry. I appreciate you accepting that money from me.
Shout out to Chris the Wizard Hubbard. Shout out to Conway. Thank you so much for taking part. We will be back next week. Please like, share, subscribe. We'll see everyone later on during this week. And again, Black History Month. Let's kind of celebrate all of our legends, all of the people that we literally appreciate, even outside of sports as well. It's
100%.
It's really, really, really important that we kind of celebrate what Black people have done for not only for the UK but also all across the world. So
100%, 100%.
Again, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Conway, and we'll see everyone later on.
Always pleasure.